How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Kansas City Royals, ready to get off-season number 2 underway, and hopefully we can go a little bit further in the playoffs and just unseat the Minnesota Twins from the top of the AL Central. They are first in the AL, first of all, and now they got a chance to go back to the World Series. They won the ALCS last year. This season, they got another chance to go back, so let's go about a week, see what happens. Tampa Bay is actually up in the series, and they do come back. They were down 3-2, stave off elimination, and are going to face Philly. It's going to be a rematch of last year's. Wow, that's crazy. It's a rematch of last year's postseason. That's wild. Okay. But yeah, postseason MVP was Edouard Julien. This season, it's going to be any one of the Twins guys. Okay, so Philly versus Minnesota yet again. Let's go another week. It's Game 7. Oh, my goodness. Game 7 is Matt Manning, who's 0-3 in the postseason, versus Taijuan Walker, who is 2-0. That is absolutely crazy. That is actually kind of crazy that they are in Game 7 for another year. And the Phillies have won again. Back-to-back World Series titles for the Philadelphia Phillies over the Minnesota Twins. I can't believe that. Is there, I mean, I could probably see the awards, right? World Series MVP, back-to-back Phillies, yep. And then postseason MVP, it was the Phillies twice and the Twins twice. Yeah, I was like, did I misremember that or something? But no, it is 2 straight series where we've seen Philly play Minnesota. That is crazy. Well, it's on us. It's on my shoulders and me and Bobby Witt Jr. and yeah, a lot of these guys are going to hopefully grow and develop to become the Minnesota Twin Killer. But for now, we've got the offseason to get it to. Let's go ahead, sim to the offseason. I don't really care about any of the postseason stats. We already saw that Bobby Witt had a terrible, terrible postseason. But our manager, hitting coach, first base coach, and farm director have had their contracts expire. We'll need to re-sign these coaches or hire replacements before the offseason, and we've got 5 days to negotiate with certain players, and there's the qualifying offer. The retired players, Dwayne Jacob is the only Royal retiring, so unfortunately, Salvador Perez did not decide to retire. A bit of a bummer there. Justin Verlander does retire, so that's good to see. Strasburg, Justin Turner's retiring, so some bigger names. That's Miles Mikolas, right? I'm maybe thinking of somebody else. Anyway, Patrick Corbin finally retires as well. Him and his contract. But we're not worried too much about the other teams right now. That's it. There we go. Max Scherzer retires and is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So good for Max Scherzer. What a dominant career. Over 3,000 innings pitched and over 3,500 strikeouts. That is crazy. 3.20 ERA. That's ridiculous stat line. But now it's time to get into the exclusive free agent negotiations. And more importantly, probably sign a staff. First things first, let's find our staff. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. I forgot who the manager of the Royals was. Anyway, I think it's maybe time to go in a different direction. Find somebody who can just get us over the hump. I mean, Henry Rodriguez here, +3 speed, +3 clutch. The clutch is nice, but I think I'm going to go ahead and build I'm just going to go ahead and build this for us, guys. Then we can talk about some of the negotiations here. Brandon Drury, do we want to re-sign him? I mean, I think I do. Batted .280, 797, runs created of 82. Definitely feel like he's at least worthy of the DH spot. Hunter Renfroe, I think I'm going to let him walk. He's been underwhelming in back-to-back seasons. Similar amount of at-bats. 250, low 700 OPS. His runs created is down in the 60s and 50s. Definitely going to need to see more out of him. And he's got a good arm, but the fielding, it's just one of those that I think we can upgrade, and I think that's easily a spot to upgrade. Adam Frazier, I think his time with the Royals is probably over. He definitely came back down to earth after a crazy last season. Stratton, maybe we bring him back. I mean, he pitched really, really well. And then Nick Anderson, I think we let Nick Anderson go. Yeah, he was the weak link in the bullpen. I do remember that. But let's take a look. Speaking of outfielders, I did want to look at MJ Melendez. He's up to a 72, but he's dropped down to B potential. So he's probably now in the mid to upper 80s as far as his potential. At 27, I don't see him hitting it. He might be somebody we move with Salvador Perez to potentially get anything in return. Maybe a reliever, maybe another starting pitcher, something. I'm not exactly thinking that Salvador Perez is going to fetch us a ton. MJ Melendez has got a little bit of value, not a tremendous amount. But Tyler O'Neill has grown crazy, right? He was like a 78. He was a 77 or something when him and Doogie signed together. Kyle Isbell is still fine. Gavin Cross, I'd like to see him grow a little quicker than this. He's not a bad fielder at all, but I'd like to see a little bit more. And I mean, really, guys, the outfield is the spot where we probably have the most room for improvement. So that's probably what I'm going to target. But I'm going to do the staff. We'll take a look at what we can do, maybe trading now. Jordan Hicks, not a bad pitcher. 79, 29 B potential. Has not pitched well yet in the sim, so probably not a guy I want to go after. The other guys are a little too old for me. So let's go ahead, sign our staff, and then get into some exclusive free agent negotiations. So looking at what it's going to take to probably bring Brandon Drury back, he's asking for quite a bit of money, and we're listed as a contender, right? So team quality is contender. That's good to see. That's his expectation, and that's our status. You love to see that. I'm gonna give him $9 million over 2 years, I think. Till he's 35, he's a good enough bat. I mean, listen, he's a really, really, really well-rounded bat. Somebody that I think we can just plug in the DH and he'll be fine. Even if he does start to drop off, like I do see a little bit of drop off, and unfortunately, it's in the bat. Hopefully, he can grow a little bit more. But he's a great utility player that can play corner of the infield, corner of the outfield. And bats about 800, and runs created is in the 80s. So I will take that from him. And maybe if we just have him focus on his batting and not so much his fielding, then again, he could be a replacement for Hunter Renfroe, and we could go out and get a DH. We'll see. But I think 2 years, $9 million, get him till he's 35. He'll be 34 going into next season. I think that makes sense for me. I'm completely fine with this deal. I'm going to go with that. And then Hunter Renfroe, we're going to let him walk. Adam Frazier, we're going to let walk. Chris Stratton actually pitched really well, like 267 well. Had a much, much better season. Good WAR, good ERC again. So I think we will go ahead and try to bring him back, maybe just for 1 year at 3.2, exactly what he's looking for. Bring him in as depth. Nick Anderson, we are going to let him walk, though. So those are the two exclusive free agents that we are going after. As far as the staff, Quatraro was our previous manager, right? So the +2 contact was good. The bunting, I'm not really worried about bunting. +1 arm accuracy, but the -2 break, not the best. So if we take a look at the submitted offers, here's what I'm giving everybody. And now this is going to cut into our available surplus and budget, right? Because we're looking at 64 million right now, -7 million for Camentini, who I'm offering the manager, minus another 1.5, I think. No, it's a little bit more than 1.5. It's just under, it's like 1.7. Either way, whatever it is for Castilla, Hensley as well is getting the same exact deal. And we got just about 1.1, 1.2 here for Brandon Ross. So I did make sure I made a spreadsheet. I love my spreadsheets. And what we're doing here is we're getting -1 steal here from Camentini. But we do get the stealing back with Brandon Ross. The -2 arm strength from Hensley does get replenished by Brandon Ross as well as our first base coach, and he's on a cheap deal. He's making up for the deficiencies of the other guys as they're giving such good boosts, right? +3 arm accuracy, +3 power, +2 power, +3 plate vision, and then +3 control, or 2 control, 3 velocity in plate vision. I mean, guys, I wanted to bring in Hensley just because we need a little bit more for the pitchers. Now, I know Drew's got good pitching stuff, but we just kind of needed a bit more. We got a lot of fielding, a lot of hitting. Hoping our coaches can also help out with the pitching, which was really, really good last year. So let's go ahead, advance a few days, see if we can get some of these guys signed. He's accepted the Cubs offer for farm director. Okay, Castilla is our hitting coach. Ross is our first base coach. Wow. So he turned down $7 million a year to be our manager to go be the Cubs farm director. Okay. Let's go. I guess I gotta go. Why are these guys taking farm director positions? That is wild to me. I gotta find somebody else. -1 plate vision, but drag bunting's not good enough to get a minus. Contact, bunting and velo, but blocking is not. I mean, there's not many fantastic managers left. Right? Like, they're all Bs, and I mean, -2 arm strength, but there's not a lot of positives there. +3 velo, but a ton of like negatives. So, there's a couple A's in here. -1 home runs per 9. Chris Feliz, a good pitcher, plate vision, arm accuracy, home runs per 9. So, not bad. Man, I'm not in love with any of these managers. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if we can maybe snipe somebody here. 2 stealing, 3 contact, power and durability is great, but -2 control. Drag bunting I don't really care about. -2 arm strength, control and velo. He's the farm director that we're trying to hire. Plate vision -1, speed is good, but contact and blocking -1. I mean, +3 contact +3 contact is very, very good. So that might be the direction we go there. Power +1, stamina +3. I'm not worried about that. We'll Yusniel Valenzuela, I think is where we'll go here. He's a lot cheaper too. Much, much cheaper. So I can give him $5 million a year. And there we go. Hopefully he will take that offer. It's -1 velo now, -1 bunting, +3 velo there from Hensley. So we're fine in regards to that. So let's see if we can get these guys signed. He's accepted the Phillies. Are you kidding me? Okay. I may need to make Hensley the manager here. Make an offer. Can I make him an offer for manager? What is this? Am I still? Oh, is this just changing my offer for farm director? For manager, do we just make him a manager offer? $5 million a year for him? We're still the number 1. Now we need a new farm director. If we make him the manager, I'm okay with that. The control and the velocity and plate vision. Farm director, I'm okay with some of these other guys being the farm director. The -1, I'd like power or contact, not minus plate vision, not discipline minus plate discipline either. No. Good Lord, wow, I cannot believe and I've been maxing out their bar too with the offers. So that's wild that happened. Clutch, bunting, that's fine. Speed, reaction, but plate vision and stamina is not good as a decrease. Fielding, it's not the end of the world. We can get some contact and pitching clutch. Pitching clutch home. Chris Feliz here doesn't look too bad. Clutch, discipline, and stealing. +2 to all of those, but a -2 to break. Finley Mason. Do we have a coach? We might have a coach that gives us +2 to break. We used to, I think. But yeah, farm director. This is okay. I'll find somebody. We'll sign somebody. And oh wait, he's still offering him our farm director. I'm gonna withdraw that offer. Managers for hire. We're gonna go with Hensley here, and yeah, we're gonna give him the $15 million a year again. Oh wow, he does not want to be a manager, is what it sounds like. Make him an offer. If I just up it to the 5.7. Okay, there we go. So now he will be our manager. And then coaching staff will just offer out a farm director. Let me take care of this. Arm accuracy and fielding +2 contact. Maybe +3 stealing is the best thing we're going to get. Drag bunting, break, and bunting. I don't like that at all. Plate discipline +2. You know what? I might go with Adam Morcaldi as our farm director. So we'll give him 3.3. 1.1 per year is not going to kill us, and nobody else is offering him anything. So hopefully now somebody's going to accept an offer. No, we will go ahead and oh my God. He accepted the offer for manager. Good Lord, guys. We are going to go into the season with no manager. That is wild. All right, so we are finally up to free agency, and I took care of the 40-man roster. We got 36 on there. Nobody there that I could lose. I'm concerned about losing in the Rule 5 draft. Salary arbitration, Kyle Isbell and Daniel Lynch. I guess I could offer them both arbitration. I do want to give them contracts, but I will offer them arbitration. Actually, you know what? Let's wait and see if they just take those contracts. Tendering the contracts, I'm all set with that. I would love to lock up Bobby German longer than this, but Herman, I think it is. Sorry. But I just don't think it won't let me, first of all. And we should probably wait and see how he pitches in the majors, which he probably will do this season. So now that we've reached free agency, let's take a look at the roster and probably what we're looking at per position. We know we got Trevor Rogers and Brady Singer. They're fine. Walker Buehler was good. John Means, and then Bobby Herman. There's Daniel Lynch, who I am going to bring back. He is arbitration eligible. I'd like to give him a contract and bring him back. I think he can be that long reliever role. Speaking of long reliever role, Seth Lugo at 36, making $15 million a year. We're going to see if we can potentially get somebody to bite on that one. I don't really care what I get back. I'm okay with, wow, Mac Horvath, an 18-year-old at B potential from the Orioles. Okay, I'm going to actually flip through these deals and see which one best fits our needs and what we could get going forward. I mean, Trevor Story at short, that's a ton of salary. Never mind. Just kidding. I'm going to go ahead and take a look through some of these offers here and see just maybe something. I mean, the Orioles deal looks really good, but we'll see what's out there that could potentially improve our squad. All right, so we got this deal from the Athletics offered our way. Mariano Diaz, who I believe was in one of the top players in the year 1 draft, I want to say. The Athletics snatched him up. He's 21, 73 with A potential, a closing pitcher. And that's something that we need more of for the future. I mean, Jose Leclerc is good, but he's 32, B potential 84, right? So he's not going to get much better than he already is. He's in year 2 of his 5-year deal. You know, he could eventually shift to the bullpen. And if Mariano Diaz is ready, then all of a sudden we call him up and we got 2 great options, probably set up in closer tandem for the next 4 years, 3 years. So I'm just looking at the teams, and man, oh man, do they need starting pitching here in Oakland. They've got that great young outfielder. What was his name? Was it Harrison Alonso? I mean, he would be ridiculous to get. I mean, if we could get him, oh my God, I would easily give up a guy like Asa Lacy or Walker Buehler, Brady Singer, Trevor Rogers. Wow. Okay, so they want a lot for Harrison Alonso, which I understand. Just playing around, see what I could get. But here with starting pitchers, they don't really have many. Seth Lugo is probably a holdover for them for just a year, right? They have so much budget available that it doesn't really matter to them. He's technically their 3rd best pitcher. They probably don't want to rush up a guy like Jackson Baumeister or any of they don't have potential starting pitchers. So that's probably why they're going to go after Seth Lugo. They need some starting pitching. And Seth Lugo will do a job. He's been good. He was in the bullpen last year. He's definitely getting worse. But hey, I'm not going to complain. We're going to get a really, really good closing pitcher out of this deal. 73, 21, A potential. Very excited to see what Mariano Diaz can be in the future for us. Seth Lugo on his way to Oakland. Thank you for your service. Offer the trade. There we go. They will accept that one. What would it take to get Harrison Alonso? Let me just see. What do they want? Freddie Fermin and Lyle Cortez. That's all it would take to get their the best player that I've seen come out of a draft in a long time. I mean, I will give them Lyle Cortez if they really want Lyle Cortez. It's probably something to do with his age. Ray Enriquez, no. They probably don't want these. I mean, they do need starting pitching. Monty McClure could be somebody to give them. Jeff Tanaka looks insane, right? We're excited about his future. Kevin Garcia. Wow, they wouldn't even take Kevin Garcia for this one. So yeah, I mean, Freddie Fermin is probably the best bet for them. Do they want Salvador? No, he's not going to move the needle. All right. So Lyle Cortez has a lot of value, and it could be somebody that, look, we could play him this season. He's a good fielder. He could be a depth player for us, right? So we've got, I don't really want Nelson Velasquez anymore. I think Lyle Cortez would be the guy I would look to. We've not seen Velasquez hit well at all. The contact from Lyle Cortez is great. He's a better fielder is what it looks like. A much better arm, faster. He's just not as good of a bunter, but he's much better with his vision, discipline, and clutch. I mean, this is a guy that Lyle Cortez looks like somebody that I'd like to play in the majors this season. So definitely not somebody that I'm looking to move on from. But our outfield can consist of Verdugo, O'Neill, Isbell, Cortez, and then bring in one more guy. And I'm very, very happy with that. Lyle Cortez surprising me, the fact that he's 21, 73. He's grown nicely. Gavin Cross, don't know if he's ever going to reach his potential. I'd like to see it. But yeah, they want way more. Yeah, I was going to say. I think that was a good trade. We got a lot of budget after that. I'm going to see what teams would give us for Salvador Perez, and then we can go hunting in free agency. And we did get a pretty decent offer for Salvador Perez. Patrick Baker, the center fielder here, he's 18 years old. He's a switch hitter, 6'2", can run like you wouldn't believe. 98 speed, 93 steal, 84 base running aggressiveness. His reaction and fielding are in the mid-70s already at only 57. What he needs to improve is the bat, but he's only 18. He's got that B potential. He can play anywhere in the outfield, and that's one thing we're lacking are potential outfielders of the future. We don't really have too many there. Salvador Perez, really in the last year of his deal, is just going to give the Diamondbacks probably some depth at catcher. Yeah, he's going to be their second best catcher on the roster. Ronaldo Hernandez here, they probably just don't think that they could do better with Salvador Perez. They kind of need a bit more in the catching department in the org anyway, and I think it makes sense for us because 18 beat potential 57, a guy that actually looks like he's going to have a role, right? At only 57, he's going to have a role doing something. It's going to be running and fielding, probably not hitting, but he's durable too, so that's good. Maybe he can improve anything. Just get into the 50s with his contact or power. Just get that a 50 across the board. If he can get into the low 50s, keep the other stats the way they are, he could be a really good center fielder for us. Salvador Perez, $20 million in salary for a guy that's not really helping out all that much, really is a detriment at this point. I wanted him to retire. I begged him to retire. He did not retire. I mean, negative 1.6 WAR last season. That's fine, Arizona. You can have him. Thank you for your service, Salvador Perez. It's going to be weird to see you over there in Arizona and not finishing your career as a Kansas City Royal. 1,554 at-bats as a Royal. 5,900 at-bats. 1,554 games. He hit plenty of home runs, 270, 878 RBIs. I mean, yeah, fantastic. But I don't want to see his average drop anymore as a Royal. 262, 746, and a great catcher all around. So thank you for your service, Salvador Perez. Tip of the cap to you. But Patrick Baker, this is the future, hopefully, for us in center field. So there we go. Offer that trade, and we now have plenty of budget. So let's go ahead, take a look at some free agents, and assess our depth chart. So now, back to where it all began here in this trading frenzy, is our starting pitching lineup. And I'm actually really, really happy with it. Trevor Rogers looks good. Brady Singer's great there, too. We got that A potential, can potentially grow a little bit higher. Walker Buehler and John Means, those two guys are kind of interchangeable to me. Buehler had the better whip. Means had the better ERA. Buehler had more strikeouts, pitched more innings, had a better win-loss, right? He just, it's got to be determined between the two. I'd probably get rid of Means. Buehler signed for another 2 seasons at 8.3, and Means is signed for another 2 seasons at 9. So if we do find a starting pitcher, that would bump one of those two out, because Bobby Herman is going to be our 5th guy. It's guaranteed. He is making the 26-man opening day roster. Daniel Lynch will be our long reliever, a role he's been pretty good at. And we got a couple guys down here that are developing. Julio Villalobos, we'll see how he does in his first season in AA. We got Ben Caderna, Chris Bubich, and then Asa Lacy. I mean, there's guys here that are going to come up and eventually fill these roles, but I think maybe one pitcher in free agency. As far as relievers, we got 3 decent ones. We're going to need another. Mariano Diaz could probably even pitch in the majors this season as like a reliever. So we'll just add him to the 40-man. Yep, and then call him up to the majors. He'll be in the pen for us, and then Jose Leclerc. So we have what, 2, 3, 4, 5 major league relievers. I think we need another 6, 5, 1 as I think what I do. Actually, no, I want 13 pitchers. So because 13 fielders, 13 pitchers. 6, 6, and 1. So we will need probably 2 more relief pitchers. I don't think any of these guys that we have on the roster, our relief pitchers have kind of taken a hit. So that's probably where I do want to spend some money, is getting a couple quality relievers for us. So 1 starting pitcher, 2 relief pitchers, no closers. We're fine with that. Catchers, we're also fine with. Blake Mitchell is going to be in the major leagues, backing up Freddie Furman. I'm very happy to have this 1-2 punch. You can see there's not too much drop off. There is definitely a drop off, but I mean, 10 overall points. It's kind of like the same dispersion, right? They're just the same speed. Other than that, I mean, Jeff Tanaka is going to be great there for us. So we'll move him to AAA there. Jeff Tanaka, and then I think probably Jesus Lopez, just because he's a little bit younger. But Jeff Tanaka is the future of the catcher position for us. Absolutely. As far as first baseman, well, we don't really have too much. I'm going to be honest about that. But we do have Vinny Pasquantino, who I'm pleased. I mean, he's a fantastic bat, guys. Power against lefties just isn't there, but it grew a ton. He's a really, really good bat, developed very, very nicely for us. Maybe we want to find a backup. Maybe it's Nick Prado. Probably don't want to back up first baseman, as we've got other guys that can do that. We got Nolan Gorman. There's Michael Massey, who can probably back him up just fine. He's grown up to a 74. Think that his bat is fine for the majors, so we can call him up. So there's another middle infielder. Well, he's second or third. Then at third, we've got Maikel Garcia, who has rewarded us for our faith. Last season, I think he was in the low to mid 70s. Now he's in 80. Great contact, awesome fielding and accuracy. So a good fielder over there at third. Not really anybody to back him up there at third, so Michael Massey can be fine with that. And then at short, this is where we find most of our utility infielders. You got Bobby Witt Jr., Brooks Lee, and Garrett Hampson. Garrett Hampson might be on his way out. He's such a good utility player, though. Brooks Lee growing nicely, can play anywhere but first. And then Bobby Witt, I'm not even going to talk about. We got Tyler O'Neill and Verdugo out at left. Isbell is a utility at center, and then Lyle Cortez is as well. So Isbell and Cortez will probably be our backup outfielders. O'Neill and Verdugo, as well as a potential free agent, will be our starting outfield. Our Nelson Velasquez, he's making $780,000. He was not good any of the years that he hit. Like, he didn't actually get a chance last season to hit. The first season, though, was not it. So he's got power, which is good, but I think Lyle Cortez is a much more well-rounded player as well. MJ Melendez here. The other, do we have two Melendezes? Or Velasquez and Melendez. There we go. MJ Melendez. I might be able, I think I could get more from him in a trade than I could actually playing him. So I think what we need to do is sign one outfielder, sign a starting pitcher, two relief pitchers, and then the infield's pretty much set. I'm pretty happy with this. There's a lot of youth. There's good bats here. Nolan Gorman's got to keep growing for us, but Michael Massey's not a bad backup option. Maikel Garcia as well, has grown tremendously. So you just got to give these guys a chance. Vinny Pasquantino's grown great. So I'll assess everything a little bit later on, but for now, I think that's what we want to go after. So let's take a look at who is out there. And Kyle Tucker did have a qualifying offer made. So I don't want to go after him. I don't want to go after a guy that I'd have to give up a first-round pick for. Zach Gallen at 30 would be an absolute stud. Like, to bring him in would be crazy. There's Chris Paddock here too, but Gallen, how has he pitched? Wow. Really, really well so far. Yeah. ERC has been phenomenal. Both of these guys actually pitched really well. And Paddock went from Minnesota to Colorado, had success in both places. Just the question is, who's going to cost more? So it looks like Chris Paddock, less than $12 million a year. Zach Gallen is asking for 29. Chris Paddock is asking for 15. They're very comparable players here. I think I'd like to go after a guy like Chris Paddock. We've got the money to. There's also Dylan Cease. He only pitched 8 games last year, but was tremendous. 2 seasons ago, though, didn't do so hot. Jordan Montgomery, another decent option, but I think I'd like to go get one big guy. Framber Valdez, again, he's going to cost us a pick. I will go after Chris Paddock, though, I think. He will be the ace, and I think $15 million a season is reasonable here. And it's going to be blowing out Colorado's offer to bring him back. And we get a guy that pitched for the Twins previously and pitched well. Quality starts. I mean, he didn't have a good win percentage, but the whip is great. He started, 33 games both seasons. 2/3 of his starts are quality. His WAR is okay. Yeah, Gallen's WAR is actually better. Let's take a look at the stats here. What I want to see is their strikeouts per 9. Paddock was okay. So a little bit better than Gallen. They both average out to about the same. Walks per 9. Oh, God, I stopped flipping like that. Okay, he walks a bit more. Gallen's home runs per 9. Paddock here, yeah, actually allowed a lot more home runs. ERC was 301. You know what? I'm cool with it. I'm cool with going after Paddock. Relief pitchers, all these guys are quote-unquote qualified because I think they received an offer from their team. Tajay Anthony, former Red, former Cardinal. Not a guy I'm going to go after. Emilio Pagan I may go after, though. He wants, $5 million for a season? He is, yeah. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and offer some guys. You won't have to listen to me wobble about their ERC or their WAR. I'll go ahead and offer out some guys, tell you why I did, and hopefully we can improve our team immensely. Because we have, behind my head, by the way, we have 101 available budget, 96 in surplus. Where pending offers is 37, so we have 60 million we can spend. So let's go ahead and spend it. All right, so I'm finished offering out the contracts I was hoping to offer out here. Chris Paddock, you guys saw me go through with him. Tommy Edman, though, is the big outfielder I want to go after. And it really felt like one of those classes where there wasn't a perfect fit. You know, obviously Kyle Tucker would be amazing. You know, he's so good. But to give up my first, I don't know. I feel like I can build a team without it. Lane Thomas was the other guy I was looking at here. Looks like a great arm. Good right fielder. Doesn't feel like the kind of guy that's going to push us over the edge batting-wise. He did hit well, 17 home runs, 255. You go to Tommy Edman here, it's kind of similar bat, right? Like 245, 15 home runs, OPS of 711. But the attributes, you'll take a look, he's great running, and he's a tremendous fielder. 96 fielding, 91 accuracy, 72 arm. And I'm looking more at the guy that was in St. Louis, the last season in St. Louis, not Toronto. Maybe got a little homesick, going even further, going to a different country. Switch hitter, though, that plays pretty much anywhere we want him to. Anywhere but first on the infield and all around the outfield. He's only 30 as well. So if I can get the guy that played in St. Louis, not the guy that went to Toronto, despite hitting more home runs, I think he was a bit worse. You guys can see his runs created were 82, which is great. WAR 4.6. Like, he is a very, very serviceable, do-it-all kind of guy. The clutch is good as well, 70. Not worried about that. Vision at 77. Discipline, like to see that get up a little bit, but I think he was the best choice. Then we looked at Teoscar Hernandez, who, again, looks great on paper at 84, but never really hits all that well. He does hit 20 home runs, but sub 240 batting average. OPS is pretty low considering the power. A negative WAR last season. Decent amount of runs created, but all in all, I think nobody else out here really makes too much sense for us besides Tommy Edman. I think he's absolutely the slam dunk guy we want to go after. Luis Arraez, who I just got traded to the Padres, IRL. Guys, I was talking about a better bat for earlier in the lineup, and he absolutely fits the bill. Yes, the speed is not there, but the contact is crazy. The vision is great. The clutch is amazing. We need these guys that are just going to hit the ball when we need them to hit the ball, and Bobby Witt maybe can not bat leadoff. Maybe Luis Arraez is our leadoff guy. Now, he doesn't have the best speed, don't get me wrong, but the discipline, like to see that get a little bit better, but the vision is great. Power's not really there, but this is the kind of guy that I would put at the 1 or the 2 in the batting order. And then Brandon Drury, I'm still fine with bringing him back at second as well. But that just means he's going to be probably the DH. Or maybe Arraez is the DH. Phil Matten is the closer or the reliever I'm going after. Same thing with Ryan Presley, and I'm also trying to bring back Chris Stratton. So we'll see about these guys. But I feel like we're kind of we're very tactical with these decisions. Obviously, I would love to go after Bo Bichette. I think he would be so insane to pair with Bobby Witt Jr. Good OPS, does hit home runs. He hits for power from the shortstop position. Good WAR, runs created 101. This one scares me with 77, but could just be a one-off thing. He is asking for $22.5 million a year. Now we have that. I'm currently still 30 million under what we could have, but I'm okay with what we're doing. I'm okay with potentially, passing on a guy like Bo Bichette, because I'd like to keep Bobby Witt Jr. in his natural position of shortstop. I know he can play third. He's probably got the arm to play third, 280. It's now there. I don't know. I feel like his speed would be wasted at third rather than short. I think he's tremendous for that spot. And I really think we're looking good as far as what the team could provide. We do just need one more outfielder. I like the rest of the team. We were close with it last year, guys. I think we just need a little bit more. One more pitcher, a true ace, couple key additions, and I feel like we can get over the hump. Do want to see what teams will offer for MJ Melendez. He's got quite a bit of value there. We'll see. So I'm going to flip through these offers. Hopefully there's something out there better than D potential 60s. Oh, and an update on the manager situation. Matt Quatraro was still out there. Decided to bring him back for 2 years this time, though. I wanted to give myself a little leeway if we need to move on from him, if he is the issue, but he's back as our manager. Didn't really have much to complain about. Think we can do better, but that's more so on me, I bet, than it is on him. So Tommy Edman is going to sign with us as well. Beautiful to see that pop up right after that. That's awesome. And it looks like, okay, I don't care about that. Let's take a look at the Royals. Whew. Signed Luis Arraez, came as well. Ryan Presley. And then we just re-signed a bunch of players. Promoted, yeah, required, yeah, we already saw all that. But as far as the new signings, I think it's just Arise, Presley, and Edmund so far. So really happy to see that those guys are they just made the decision early. And we're still the lead in the clubhouse for all the other guys. Brandon Drury and Stratton still waiting it out. Phil Matten and Chris Paddock. If we get Chris Paddock, guys, I'm going to feel really good about our upcoming season. So I'm getting a little crazy. Zach Gallen's still out here. He's just chilling here. And I decided to give him 5 years, $100 million. It's crazy that I'm just that much more than the Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't know what it is about us that he's just not in love with. Like, when you take a look at the offer, like, he's super happy that we're going to offer him to be an ace and we're a contender. But I don't know. He's got no expectation for coaching staff. No idea. Maybe he's got a player option there in, that could be that could be what bumps them up. Yeah, if he gets a player option in the 5th year, I think it would be the 5th year, or is it a 6th year player option? I don't know. I don't use those ever. If I'm paying him what $20 million a year is fine for a guy like Zach Gallen at 30 for the next 5 years. Him and Paddock would be a 1-2 punch. With Trevor Rogers going to the 3, like then that would mean Bueller and Means we can move on from them and save a little bit more cash. We still have $6 million in projected surplus, 6.5. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Listen, if he doesn't decide to join us, then he doesn't decide to join us. But right now we're technically the number 1, and we're number 1 for Chris Paddock by a decent amount. So hopefully both of those guys do join us. That could be crazy for our pitchers. Huge pop-up for us here. Chris Paddock is going to sign with us. That is big. We got the one we initially targeted. Now it's time to see if potentially Zach Gallen will join as well. And it looks like Brandon Drury might have as well. Take a look at the Royals. Let's see, all transactions. Re-sign Brandon Drury to a 2-year, $18 million contract. So we look fine there. I'm absolutely pumped about that. No players left for arbitration either, so that's good. Pending offers, $20 million. Projected surplus, $29 million. So we are looking good there. I probably can just sim to the next free agency. Look at all the green. It's looking great. I'm pumped with how the team is shaping up, guys. It's great. So let's go ahead and get ourselves, hopefully get ourselves Zach Gallen too and become even a better starting pitching rotation. And we're up at the draft lottery. It doesn't really have much to do with us as we did achieve the 22nd worst record. Oh, really, really good record. I want to sound like Jerry Jones here. But we're pretty good. 90 wins. We're not in it at all. We did advance. I think that's why, like, the Nationals, they're at 80 and 82 and 80. Wonder why they are not in it. Maybe it's because they won it. I don't know. The Rockies had a dread 54-win season. Are the Rockies or the Athletics going to stay in the top 3 yet again? Here it comes. The draft lottery. I'm ready for it. The White Sox move up and the Red Sox move up. And the Rockies drop. The Athletics drop 2. Wow, okay. The Guardians dropped as well. Disappointing for them, but we are fine there. I did add MJ Melendez to the trade block, so we'll see. But offers, we're still the number 1 offer on Zach Gallen. He doesn't like it, but it's not my fault. Andres Munoz is being acquired by the Brewers from the Mariners in exchange for Andrew Monasterio, who's 28, 75, and Cesar Prieto, who's 66 and 26. So kind of a fleecing. Okay, the Astros acquire Nico Horner from the Cubs. It's 88 overall second baseman for Christian Javier, the 88 overall starting pitcher, their ace. Wow, that is a big old swap right there. Good Lord. But we are now at the Rule 5 draft. I doubt we're going to go ahead and pick anybody. We'll take a look just to be safe. There's nobody that I'm worried about potentially losing here either. We're picking way, way, way down. So, I mean, Eric Lauer maybe is he's definitely the best guy out there at 73 B potential. Yeah, that's who they want us to take. I don't really want to leave him in the majors. I mean, it does suck that he's not pitched in the majors yet. I mean, 73 is not the best, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I think we'll pass. We are just going to skip the selection. I understand that means I won't be able to pick again. Chris McMahon was taken there. Not a surprise. And there we go. The Rule 5 draft is over, and we should be good to go. Free agents, still Zach Gallen. I mean, I don't blame him for holding out for any kind of money. Oh, look, I'm glad I changed it because now the Diamondbacks are giving him 6 years, $108 million. I'd like to not give him 108 million. I'll give you, I mean, I will give you 108 million over 5 years, not 6 years. So I guess it'll be a little bit more. But I'm going to see what I can do here to see if I can get Zach Gallen to sign. Teams are probably going to fight us pretty handily for it. So if we give him, I mean, I'd give him probably 110 over 5 years. I think I'm fine with that. That moves us up quite a bit too, so I'm cool with that. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is kind of getting the same treatment from everybody. 20 million for him. Don't hate me for saying this. His stats look very good, but for a 20 million a year player, I might expect a bit more. I guess WAR because he's a first baseman. He's not doing anything in the field. The run's created though. Yeah, actually, I take back what I said. I retract that statement. He is insane. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Gallen is going to sign with the Royals. 22 million a year for this guy. I feel like is practically a steal considering he was asking for like 29 million, I think. Something crazy. Glad I went with what other teams were offering, and we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 2 aces in this window. Lane Thomas then goes to the Tigers. They were the number 1 there, but our starting pitching rotation is now 6th best in all of baseball. Gallen, Paddock, Rogers, Singer, Bueller, Means, Herman, and Daniel Lynch. So, you know what? I now kind of want to see what teams will give us for Means and Bueller. I mean, that's $17 million we could free up right there. Don't think we're going to use it on anybody, but we could absolutely see what it would do because now Herman is no longer the 5th. He's now the 8th, 7th. But we got Rogers at 3, which is where he belongs. Paddock, Gallen back to back. Brady Singer is the 4, and then Herman I think is going to be the 5, and Daniel Lynch will be the long reliever, which I'm fine with. So these 2 guys, I appreciate their services, but I think what we want to do is see what teams would offer for them. So I've been putting together this trade for a second now, and this was offered to me somewhat. Colt Keith was offered by the Tigers, and he's definitely somebody that I am very interested in. At 24 A potential, 79 overall, second baseman, can play third and short, so could be a third baseman for us. A better bat than Maikel Garcia. So I mean, the fielding's not quite there, but I think he's a great just player to take a swing on. I'd love to have an embarrassment of riches, right? First baseman, they don't really have anybody worth talking about. They're devoid of catchers too. Holy cow. But we'd also get Jack Weisenberger, just a reliever to throw it in the deal here, right? Just the best player that I think I can get reasonably. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just throw him in there. And then in outfield, Max Clark, 21 A potential, 67, another outfielder to take a swing on, right? I know we took a swing on Patrick Baker. We also drafted Tino Peralta and Dave Young. I just feel like we're going to need somebody like a Max Clark coming up very soon. His bat's pretty solid. The fielding's there. Base running's there. And we're giving up 2 pitchers that we don't really need much of anymore. I think this makes sense for us to get Keith, who's a really good bat and is kind of an insurance plan for if Nolan Gorman doesn't really round out. Vinny Pasquantino's obviously got first lockdown. Gorman, Rise, Drury. He may spend the season in AAA, but I'm kind of okay with that. Maikel Garcia, he could replace as well. This is one where I'm going to need you guys to let me know what you think, because Garcia's the much better fielder, but Colt Keith is a great bat. So, and then at short, we got Brooks Lee, Bobby Witt. I feel like the A potential too at 24. He's got plenty of time to grow into something. The cycles of players as well. So I think I'm okay with this. I don't really think that there's much else that we could get out there. I saw some offers from the Rockies. I think this is the one I'm going to stick with. I built this trade. We're good to go. We're freeing up some salary. MJ Melendez is in there as well. Do we need to put MJ Melendez in there? Can I actually then take Jack Weisberger off the deal? Ooh, okay. So we don't actually need to put Melendez in this deal. I will send them Dave Young. Actually, no, they love Dave Young. How about Evan Taylor? Yeah, they're very interested in Evan Taylor. Not sure why. I'm not interested in him. Maybe I'll give them Jacob Wallace or Pete Masters. There we go. Pete Masters. Sure. There we go. So, Bueller and Means for Keith and Clark, and then Pete Masters just there to kind of make the deal go through. So there we go. Keeping MJ Melendez another year, keeping that $1.5 million in salary, but it's not the end of the world. Just not getting a random reliever, just for my trouble. So there we go. That's the trade. Thank you, Detroit. All right, it's time to get to, I think we're done. I think we're all set. I think we're ready to go. Sim to arbitration hearings, nobody there. And then I think we're ready to get started at spring training. So here we are, spring training, 1 day away. Let's take a look at our depth chart. It is crazy good. Starting pitchers, where you at? There they are. I don't know. They're on the 40-man, right? I don't know why they're, I guess, oh, they might not be in the rotation. I don't think they set it up. So we'll just set it up quickly. We'll do this right now. Thank you, Zach Gallen is not a relief pitcher. Thank you, though. There we go. I mean, guys, it's looking really, really good. Depth chart-wise, yeah, the starting pitching is just great from top to bottom. Gallen, Paddock, Roger Singer, and then Herman. At catcher, Furman and Mitchell. Tanaka's waiting in the wings. They've got O'Neill and Brooks Lee as the DHs right now. I think that's going to change. Pasquantino and Arise are playing first. That's good. We got a backup first baseman there in Arise. Nolan Gorman at second with Tommy Edmond backing him up. Bobby Witt obviously locking down short. Michael Garcia over at third. In the outfield, it's Verdugo and O'Neill, Kyle Isbell, and then Lyle Cortez. So they actually don't have Tommy Edmond technically starting. I'm not too worried about that. I think we'll move probably, O'Neill or Verdugo to right. Edmond will play center. Lyle Cortez, I mean, maybe he does play all season. The bullpen looks great, though. Leclerc, Sandlin, Matten, Barlow, Presley. Lynch is the long reliever. We got Mariano Diaz, Stratton, Schreiber. Guys, this team looks really good. Second overall. Take a look at that real quick. The power is not there, but the contact, the pitching, the defense, it is there. We're playing small ball, baby. Guys, I'm pumped with this team. Let me know your thoughts. I know I acquired a lot of players at a lot of positions and stuff like that. I'm just trying to accumulate as much talent as possible. Flashback to 2 seasons ago when we started this series. Team, I think, is in a much, much better position now, just at this screen, than it was then. But you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all, what we fall. This a free for all.